everyone.
Happy Sunday again.
Happy Sunday.
Take
We're
two.
trying this a second time. I thought I was on the wrong page, but I
I
wasn't.
think you were on the virtual page. Now
But
it says Danny again.
I don't know what's going on. This is too much for me. If I click expand, see the comments are down there. Let's just make it small. We'll just be teeny tiny.
But
Maybe
where
we'll
are the
see
comments now?
right
Oh,
here
I see. No,
on the
that's
side.
fine. That's fine.
I think that's totally fine. I think we've got this thing figured out. Well, I declare.
Every week we seem older and older.
Yeah,
Did
we were
you-
on the virtual page. Sorry, everybody. Dan, Georgia. Oh, Kim Hicks.
Hey, Kim. Look, see, people
Kim,
are coming.
If you
They're
would just
coming
jump
now.
on to
Just
the
switch over, Kim.
Lake
So
Point
sorry.
Madison campus page, we were on the wrong page. It's an honest mistake.
Too many pages.
Mary Ross.
Hey, hey.
Well, it was an
Too many
honest
pages.
mistake. Too many pages.
Right now it says
Happens
we're
to
on,
the best
on
of
your
us.
personal page, but maybe you are just...
Danny Harrell is live. I don't. No, that was a minute ago. I was all kinds of messed up.
I know, but is it... Who's live now?
Now,
Okay, we're live
Lake
now.
Point Church is live. We're doing this.
It's us. We did it.
It's fantastic. It's what it is.
We did
Heather
it.
Chamberlain said you're on here. Tommy McFarland. Hey to the Dillard house, Tommy.
I love technology.
Hope you're having a
and hate
fantastic time
technology.
up there in the beautiful
Sorry
mountains.
we're a little late. We were not just confused by technology, but we were hosting visitors.
Y'all,
we had visitors.
church
such
visitors came
sweet
over
church
and bought
people.
fun gift. Really neat.
Stuff
It's
for
a
the,
neat
kids,
thing for the kids.
and then Michael flew
Michael,
over. and
Michael,
his,
my guy.
What's it called? Lightweight. What's it called?
It's called Flying's. What he's like Superman. He had somebody else like tandem. He had somebody else up there.
Two people. I don't think they were.
It's been the most entertaining. It's been the most entertaining couple of hours we've had in months at the Harrell House.
Oh, lots of activity here. Lots of activity. It's not tandem unless they're tied together, I think. Wouldn't that be
Valid
called tandem?
point, Shantae. Shantae's my built-in thesaurus.
He loves it.
No, for real. I don't
Very
think it's
thankful.
tandem. English teachers out there, does anybody know? Natalie.
Yeah, we need an English teacher to help us out with that because that's
Hey.
definitely not a math teacher thing.
Heather said howdy.
Hey,
Mary,
Dad.
when I was 15, you were twice older than me, 15.
That might
This
be
is true. This is true.
probably.
37 now.
Seems right. So that seems right.
Boom. Story of my
That's
life
the
right
math
there.
teacher thing.
That's the
That is-
math teacher thing coming out.
Did you want your coffee back?
Oh, you're still holding it in your hand.
Are you hating on this coffee because of the cup or because of the color? What's happening that you don't? Danny doesn't. He was not pleased with this cup of coffee, and I'm not sure why.
Look at the cup first off. It's like a soup bowl.
But we're twins. And these are the only two clean cups. Not the only two. There were some others. These were the best two clean cups. The other
The
cool
best
cups
two
are not
cups that
clean.
we have.
Some of them might be in my car.
Does anyone else have
couple-
that? Does
a
anyone else have
couple of
coffee cups in
them.
your car? You can. This is a safe space. You can confess to this class.
Actually, I just have one in my car.
You know why?
Why?
I've intentionally gotten old cups out of your car every day this week.
That's so sweet.
I really have. I put kid book bags in the car. I get old coffee cups out of the car. It's
I
just what
thought
I do now.
was just like really doing.
I used to wonder, what are we going to do when we're married for almost 15 years? That's what we do. That's the honeymoon phase has changed. And there's
So
gnats.
sweet.
There's gnats in my car.
That is the sweetest thing.
Well, I'm a
And
I'm
I
a
didn't
servant.
even know it.
I'm a giver.
I was like, man, I am really killing it with these coffee cups.
I believe that too. Isn't that crazy?
I know. I believed it until right
That's
now.
good stuff. Man.
Well, there's only one cup in my car right now. It's probably from this morning.
There's
But
only one cup. There's
these
only one.
are clean and they match. But there's not half and half in there. He said, what cream is this? It's just whole milk. We're down to whole milk and regular.
Is there any whole milk left in there?
There is. And there's enough coffee to make one more. Instead of going to the store today, I just came home and took a nap. So there we are. No
So there we
groceries.
are.
No groceries in the Harrell house. Just barely enough.
Oh my word, Tim!
We'll
I'm
be
glad
fine.
you're here
We
tonight,
only
my
have
friend.
one child,
Are you
so
sitting on
it's
your back
okay.
porch as well? My kids ask daily, every time we pass a beautiful fifth wheel, if it's Mr. Tim's
Daily,
fifth wheel, and then I have to
daily.
say, no, Mr. Tim sold his fifth wheel. He's actually taking a break from camping, and without fail, they say, forever? Is he getting back
Can
in?
you just camp? Maybe the next
So
time
Tim,
we
maybe
camp,
next
you
time
can
we camp, you should at least come over to the campfire because
You need to. You need to.
my kids are having withdrawals from that one amazing party
Mr.
they
Tim and I
had
were
in
talking
your
about
fifth
high
wheel.
falls this morning.
Have you been there? Has he been there?
I don't know. We were just
We had
talking
a grand
about
old time.
how what the yurts are like, and I was telling him it's a step up from a tent, a step down from a camper,
That's true.
for sure.
That's
But
very,
good
very
times.
accurate. Sandy, I'm glad you joined us tonight.
Yes, welcome.
Good to see you. Nallie's still laughing, having a grand old
Your
time.
dad said he's fishing, so that means Luke and Caroline are probably having the time of their lives
My
at
dad-
Granddaddy's house.
If not,
I hope.
The kids are probably entertaining
I don't know if
themselves. They'll be
Granddaddy's
fine.
having time of his life.
Dad, are you
Sure
tired?
they're
That's the
having-
question you got to ask yourself. I'm sure you're not.
Granddaddy came and dove hunted, and then look, Michael's.
Is he flying back again?
He's flying. Oh, I
Y'all-
hear him. He's trying to make a cameo appearance. If
I'm
you
gonna
listen,
I
you
will
can
take
hear
the
it.
laptop in the yard and point it at the sky.
We're not above it. We're not above it.
So we're looking
I
at
do
trampoline.
hear
I'm gonna go
him.
look
I
for
do
Michael.
hear
Don't go anywhere.
it. What am I supposed to do?
Just entertain the
Just
family.
sit here and drink coffee? Seriously, don't go far. This is never fun. I do hear him. He's flying over. It has been an entertaining day. I wish. Okay, I'm just gonna turn the laptop and show you. Okay, come back. He's coming back. Get ready.
Facebook
Okay,
family, hang in.
okay.
We're going on a look in the sky. This is my house. Here's the backyard. If you've never seen it, I know it's magical. There's Michael. I hear him. All right, we're going to look. Oh, man, hold on. Can you see him? Oh, I'm getting this all backwards. I'm not a pilot. There he is. Yeah. Michael's being live streamed. I hope your wife knows what you're doing, Michael, because, well, now you're on the internet. Michael's doing a flyover. I know this is entertaining. Everybody's like, what's happening? A little whiplash. It's okay. I'm going to try to wave while holding a laptop like this. There's two of them. Told you there were two. See, they're not tandem. The question is, does that count as tandem or just like a flyby? They're actually in a gang. It's a new gang they've started. I'm going to see if he can wave. I just wanted y'all to see him there. I know. This has nothing to do with the Bible or anything like that, but it is kind of fun, you know? Michael, love you, Dad. All right, guys. Thanks for bearing through that with me. I'm gonna look up and see. He's still up there. Sure enough. Hey, there's our backyard. If you've never seen, I know everybody's intrigued. Like, what does the Harold backyard look like? That's it. All right, there they go. They're flying. I don't know how to get this. We're gonna tilt it just like this. Oh wow. Yep, it's exciting. It's a field trip, Sandy. Sandy, it's a field trip. It really is. All right, now we're back. Now we're back. We're going to settle in on the back porch.
I'm just watching.
Here we
you.
go. Did you watch me on the air? Was it entertaining?
Really,
Was it weird? Is everybody okay?
it's
Y'all
really
still
a
with us?
special night.
Special
Really
night.
special night.
I know everybody's ready to.
I know you're excited.
Everybody's ready to settle in. They don't get. We get excited about the small things. Look at that picture of the sky.
It's
on
not
my
every
phone.
day that somebody flies by to be a part of our Wednesday.
It's not.
Sunday
That,
night.
y'all, we've been
on the
doing this
back
for a
porch.
year and a half or something.
That's
the first time that's ever happened.
flyby visitor that we've ever had.
The first flyby visitor. Things, I'm telling you, just when we thought things couldn't get any crazier.
You literally never know what might
Sure
happen.
enough, it got crazier. I hope everyone has had a fantastic Sunday. I know some of you joined us on service. I think, Sandy, you were on there this morning. I tried. A lot of our staff was out of town just on vacation and stuff today.
We were a skeleton crew this
We were a
morning
skeleton
for Labor Day.
crew. Absolutely crushed it. Praise team absolutely crushed it. New folks singing.
I don't know if you guys know, but one of our vocalists this morning is normally the fantastic drummer.
It's the drummer. If you
Joe
were looking at the
Veland.
stage, he was on the far right. Tall,
And
good-looking guy,
he-
glasses.
We made like an executive decision at band practice, and
Yep.
he broke out of the drum cage and sang some harmony with us.
He did.
And he killed it.
I hope Jay's okay with me sharing this with the class. Jay, as a side gig, is in a 4-man gospel quartet.
He is fantastic.
Legit, not like a no. I mean, these
Legitimate
guys
talent.
can sing. I've been wanting them. Hey, right now, let's make this decision. I would love for them to come and sing it like our
Let's-
Thanksgiving thing,
sure,
our Thanksgiving meal.
absolutely.
We'll see if we can book them in
Yeah,
advance.
that sounds like
No,
fun.
for real, that'd be a lot of fun. Jay's a very talented guy, and I'm glad that he
I've
sang.
kind of had a like low key running joke about breaking Jay out of the drum cage for a long time, like free range drumming. It's been kind of a thing that we've talked about because he's just what
He
like
is.
he's back there almost out of sight, out of mind. At practice, we'll be talking and he'll be like, "What are y'all saying?" He doesn't know what we're saying.
He has no idea.
So we busted him out, and it was totally
It was
worth
really
it.
good.
I think he's welcome to sing with us anytime that he's not drumming. With
Tim, a few people said they enjoyed that. I mean, it was kind of a little bit of an acoustic kind of set, but I thought it was
acoustic
great.
with a keyboard.
Acoustic.
We were debating whether or not
With a
keyboard,
keyboard.
ruined it being
No, I
acoustic,
think
but
it-
we kept the
I
keyboard.
think it worked well, but
Lots of fun.
it did. But no, I think Sandy, I think you were on there. I try to on Sundays, and anybody that's on here, if you're up for it, I try to sometime on Sunday afternoon go back and watch just scroll through the services
comments.
and comment underneath each one to make sure folks know, man, we saw you. We're working on getting that like live interaction so folks can be commenting live. But man, I'm thankful for that opportunity to have everybody join us. But
It's
yeah, we had
really
a great time.
fun when you are at home. A couple of Sundays ago, I was at home with the kids were sick. I was sick, and it is really neat to be able to see everybody kind of join in and comment. But the comments help us to know that you're actually there. So even if you just put a little smiley face emoji, lets us know who you are and that you're there. That's kind of fun.
That is really.
Definitely.
That is really good. And we thought, I mean, it's Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody has the day off tomorrow. But we really thought that it would be a low attendance, and that's what I always tell people on just about every Sunday. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I think today's gonna be a low day.
Today's gonna be a low day. People are in town.
First service, they're like, I think 112. John counted for us.
It
Second service,
low.
well over 2. I have no idea what the total number was because we forgot to count. But it
was maybe low for a normal Sunday, but it was.
Man, it's absolutely crazy.
Great day. Saw lots of friendly faces.
Thankful for everybody that was in the building, everybody that was online. Just a few moments ago, when we tried to do this the first time, we did Facebook Live from the Madison virtual page. If you've never been on the virtual page, y'all, you can see a live goofy video of Danny Shante tonight.
Sure.
But also, man, check that thing out. Susie Means has done an exceptional job setting that up and leading that every week, every day. She's actually on vacation this week, so we've been posting fun little pictures. She texted me a picture of their trip and asked me to share that. It's stunning. Where they are is absolutely stunning. So
Colorado, right?
Yep, they're in Colorado.
I've never been to Colorado, but now I definitely want to go for sure.
Looks like a really good one. So we're thankful for them. But yeah, check that out. We'd love for you to see it. I'm trying to think of other announcements we have this morning.
Tomorrow is Miss Yvonne's birthday. That's one announcement. If you were in second service, second service, we celebrated Miss Yvonne with the kids, sweet flowers and cards. And a lot of the kids who have come up through Adventureland. Miss Yvonne was our first and I think only right now teacher. She teaches every Sunday at church.
Every Sunday.
I remember when she sort of made that decision. I was running the children's department and she said, I know this might sound crazy, but I just want to teach this class every week. I feel like these kids need a face every single Sunday. And so we're seeing just the fruits of that. A lot of those kids are in second, third grade now. And she still teaches that little Adventureland class. And so we were able to celebrate her a little bit, a day early.
That one. And,
for her birthday. That was very sweet. I
kind of made her mad because I called her up. I didn't make her mad. I surprised her.
Have been a little surprised. So.
Yeah, that's right.
So Tuesday's meeting. Tommy. Yes, Tommy. Thank you. That's a big
Tuesday.
Deal.
Tuesday at 11 o'clock, we have a meeting with the Board of Commissioners in Morgan County, just to present a property that we have right across the street that we're really looking at called the Stables property. It passed
Danny
the
says
planning
right
and zoning.
across the street. People ask me a lot. It's not the corner lot across the little
I've tried.
street.
It's possibly.
We love that. If you own that corner lot and you want to sell it for less than you've offered, then call us.
If the Lord leads.
But not across the literal one street.
Not
it's
83 Street.
Streets.
It's across Highway 278. If
you
know
can
where
see it from the parking lot.
Madison
Car Care.
Madison Car Care and the gas station across from our church, Bose Wrecker.
It's across the street from that.
It's behind that. So go check that stuff out.
People ask me all the time, is it really across the street?
Well, you can see it from the parking lot.
It is, but not just.
Some people could throw a rock and hit it.
Not me.
I am not one of those people.
But
we would appreciate your prayers for Tuesday morning at 11. That's our next step, and then we'll have some conversations with the owner. And
sad I won't be there. I'm going to be teaching.
I'll be there.
I'm glad. We'll be represented.
We'll represent that well.
It'll be fun.
So y'all be in prayer for that one. That's Tuesday at 11. Sandy, who commented on here, y'all, if you don't know Miss Sandy, we did meet at the ball fields Thursday night and had a good conversation under the pavilion. Sandy's been checking us out and been online for a little while, right? Sandy, you've been talking about that.
I was walking under the pavilion and she said, "Hey, are you Shante?" I said, "Yeah." And then I had that like cold sweat, like, oh man, I don't know someone's name.
She thought tax collector.
And she was quick to say, "You don't know me, but I know you from your back porch and Sunday morning." So that was really cool. I'm glad you introduced yourself.
Sandy, we're very thankful for you and for you being a part of our church family, especially right here.
And we have kids.
And you've seen my backyard. You've seen the sky above my house now.
Now you've been on a backyard field trip.
We just ran. Well, I should have.
So now we're friends. This is it. Yeah, I kind of wish we had known before.
It's fine.
We just got like the shooting range cardboard box out there in the blue
chair. We've been practicing.
The blue chair that's been out there for a week.
It rained a few times.
Where's the falcon? Or whatever it is. Isn't that a falcon?
I don't know. If it's not a buzzard, don't sit still. You got to move around. But y'all, I'm trying to think of anything else. This Wednesday night, we're going to have our Wednesday night Bible study. Not a meal. We are gathering at 6:45. So come on out 6:45, or join us on here, and we would love to.
That was another
see you
time
there.
Wednesday. I thought maybe we wouldn't have a lot of friends because
Man,
no
it was a
dinner,
great
and it
crowd
was a great
Wednesday night.
crowd.
It was
So,
really neat.
I think the people who were in the kids' rooms were also surprised by just
and
how
everybody
many
showed
kids.
up 3 minutes till. So the kids
Like,
room.
oh, we might have
I
a
told
few
the kids
kids,
volunteers, and they
4:30.
said, "There's not many kids here. This will be fine." It's like 4 kids. I'm like, yeah, it's totally fine. 3 minutes later, 19
Very
kids
punctual.
or whatever is a lot. So that was a
Fun
good one.
times.
But no, it's been a good day in our house. Had some good friends over, and like I said, Michael did a couple flybys, so we had some fun outings from inside our house. Tonight, I was gonna see if y'all are up for it for just a few moments. I enjoyed the service today. We talked about Romans 10, that God calls us to confess and believe in our faith. So I thought one fun thing would be, if you're up for this, doing a time of confession. Easy, not like a confession booth with a priest. That's not how we roll. Clearly, I'm not a priest, but I do think if we could think of just something fun, So, you go first.
Me first.
I'm just kidding.
About something?
No, I was thinking earlier today,
unscripted
as
right
we
here.
were actually walking on the back porch, that far back, and I thought, man, what's one thing the church doesn't know about me that I could share?
This is really on the spot.
That could go in a different direction. And I have one because I've explained this to my kids one time, and then I was trying to bond with my son when I confessed this, and then he ratted me out to my dad, who didn't remember it ever happening in 1991.
So then you got in trouble for something.
I was like, hope Dad, and then my dad, I think, Dad, if you're still watching, I think you might have fallen asleep or something. It was easy. I kind of skirted around again as a 37-year-old. So back in 1991.
So now you're going to get in trouble again.
Pretty much. If Miss Kent is watching, Miss Kent, you caught me and took me to the principal's office. The only time in my schooling that I get carried to the principal's office. We were on the playground at North Columbia Elementary School. We were the Purple Dragons. Make fun of that if you want, but it was great.
I need to interject right here. Whose decision was it that you guys were dragons or that your school color was purple?
I don't know. Purple, green, and gold.
That's a really unique choice.
The dragon breathed fire. If you walked in, dragon. I'm just saying, like, if some of these ladies in my life right now were a bit harder, like, no, we're not doing dragons. I don't know what that's about. Like, dragon breathing fire.
Just really thankful right now for being the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs are a little more American.
Yeah.
So we were on the playground, and this girl was being chased by some guys. I wasn't part of that nonsense. But y'all, at some point, rocks were picked up, and kids started throwing rocks. And
at the girl?
She was hit by a rock or two.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding when I say I promise. I did not throw rocks at this girl. But I was holding rocks in my hand.
I feel like
I'm just being honest.
Know who I married
this
right
is
now.
like straight Old Testament stuff. So, like, I was standing there. I always remember I was standing there with the rock. I'm not going to name any names because they might be watching this later. They're like, hey, Dean, come hang out. And they hand me a rock. I was like, cool. And as soon as that rock hit my hand, Miss Kent saw me, called me up, took me straight to the principal's office, and then took the girl that we were chasing around and maybe sit next to her in the principal's office.
Was she crying? Because
for an hour.
Did she need stitches?
It was no, she was fine. Horrendous.
It sounds horrendous, and you should have been in the principal's office for that.
They told me
were
to get
you going to throw the rock?
No, there's no chance.
You had it in your hand.
It was a setup. It was a sting operation.
Mm-hmm.
So they made me take this piece of paper home and get it signed by my dad, who was working 2 or 3 jobs at the time. I might have waited for him to fall asleep, woke him up, awakened him, and said, hey, Dad, can you sign this? He said, what is it? It says something for school.
Something for school.
He did.
Did that work?
I don't think he knew about it until yesterday when my son ratted me out.
Do you think that our kids have done this with us? Is the question I have to ask.
Probably.
Would we? Well, I will say this. Nathaniel tried to send himself on a play date Thursday. Thank you, Heather, for intercepting that. The boys were like, oh, yeah, Nathaniel's supposed to ride home with Sawyer. It's a thing. He needs to be a car rider. And Heather was like, hey, guys, are your kids supposed to go home with each other? Because I didn't see a transportation note. No adult had been consulted whatsoever. And
they were working a plane, though. It was really fun.
Michael's over
Dean, are you serious?
Wow, you made good time.
First off, Dean, that's awesome that you're on here, and Katie. Second,
and Katie.
Tell Michael, Dean, and Shawnee said, hey, he was just over my house a minute ago.
Just wait.
You get there a lot faster by air. Everybody needs to do one of those things. Change the world.
I'm not doing that. Sorry, Michael. No judgment here. I'm not going to be ever in one of those things, whatever they're called.
There's a lot of passion.
I don't fly off the ground in a chair with a fan on the back. That's just me.
Dean,
I think it's awesome that other
take
people
a
think
phone
that they
outside.
can.
Snag a picture of that thing. Share it with the class. It's fantastic. All right, guys. I was just kind of kidding about the whole.
I'm a little
sharing
disappointed
confession
that
thing.
you
I know.
were
This just
holding
took
a
a
rock
turn.
in the
This took a turn,
playground story.
I'm gonna have to answer for that all over again. So let's just get straight to the scripture.
It's true. It's disappointing. I'm disappointed.
What, it was
This is my teacher.
1991.
This
I
is
was
my
like,
teacher voice right now.
what was that? 81, 7, 8, 10. I was 7 years old.
I would confess about all the times I went to the principal's office, but I didn't have any.
You know why? She was homeschooled.
No, I was not.
That's
the whole
why.
time. I went to the principal's office only for good things.
The 4 years you're in public school.
9. Close.
She got to sit in her mama's room though.
I got plenty of trouble in homeschool. It's a different story.
Those
Different
homeschoolers,
principal.
they don't have the same standard. They didn't have to.
Keep talking.
I'm saying like you could just get smacked. Like there was no. The principal could whoop you.
There's really no standard. Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of standard when it comes to discipline though.
I'm
It's
just
between you and
saying,
who's
yeah,
ever teaching.
It depends on your parents.
And her
Mine
parents
were
are
legit.
legit. I'm
Mine
still
were
intimidated.
legit.
Hope your mom's
Don't
not
worry,
watching.
no
I
child
feel
abuse
bad.
happened. It was all good. It was just, I would have rather gone to the principal more.
Sarita, I'm sorry I was holding a rock. I shouldn't have been holding the rock.
I
Sarita.
feel disappointed.
Now my mother-in-law's watching
I'm
this.
disappointed right now. We're all disappointed in you.
If you got a Bible or device, open up to Hebrews chapter 12. Hebrews chapter 12. We'll read 1 or 2 verses. We're going to talk
Change
about
the
that.
subject.
We're going to shift gears here and go in a different direction. We also talked this morning about what happens when God calls each of us, as He does. He calls every one of us to share the good news. We looked in Romans chapter 10, verses 13 and 14, when Paul says, "How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news." We said that we weren't going to look at each other's feet, so we're still not going to do that. Not going to look at our feet.
Taking sensitive.
But I do, because I had a few people ask me right after service, and I mean, if you're okay with it, just for a few moments, I'd like to expand a little bit more on that, the impact that people have had on our lives by bringing us good news. So I've got these 2 verses from the book of Hebrews, chapter 12. I think just verses. Let's just do. Okay, verses 1 and 2. We'll do verses 1 and 2. Hebrews 12, 1 and 2. Hebrew writer. We're not 100% sure who wrote it. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge cloud of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting him, he endured the cross, disregarding its shame. Now he is seated in the place of honor beside God's throne. The 2 main parts I wanted us to get was 1, the cloud of witnesses that goes before, and 2, how we are to keep our eyes on Jesus. So I've shared a lot of stories from my childhood, just because, man, I had a good childhood, and I've had a lot of good people around me. The Lord has allowed me to experience some just really good church folks at every stage of my life. Little old church ladies, little young church ladies, little old church men, younger church men, like just people that have poured into me and my family. So this one to me is similar to that passage in Romans where it says, "How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news." Because to me, and it's weird, like now that I'm in my late 30s, and it's happening more and more, how many of the people that originally brought me the good news with their feet have now entered into my cloud of witnesses that are in heaven. You know what I mean? So it's this interesting time in my life, and some of y'all are further along, and some of y'all aren't there yet. But in our lives, and some of the most influential spiritual people in our lives have now gone on to be with the Lord. So that looks different for us, because our cloud of witnesses, that's the group of folks who I believe will help welcome us into God's presence one day. Like the folks that are waiting for us when the roll is called up yonder, that cloud is getting larger, and it's crazy because it really is filled with a lot of the same folks that brought me the good news the first time around.
Yeah, Diane Escobar used to say that heaven always gets a little sweeter. Yeah. We would go to funerals and she would say, heaven just gets a little sweeter. And when the first time she said that, I'd never heard it before, and I thought, that's an interesting thing to say. But she was first telling me about when she lost her parents and her sweet aunt and uncle, all very close together, and then we were so young. We were in our early 20s when we first met Miss Diane, and she was kind of describing all that to me, and I thought, never thought about it like that. And now, 15 years later, I can really appreciate what she meant, because there are there is a ever growing list of people that I just really respect and that have poured into me in different ways that are in heaven now, and I look forward to seeing them there. So
it does. It gets sweeter over time.
It really does get sweeter.
And one of the things I think that we've realized, and because we've had conversations about it, is one, to me, how at different times when people are bringing good news, it might look like different things. For example, we're going to name just a couple of names just as I'm thinking of things out loud. There was a guy at Haven Fellowship. His name was Gil Brewer. Gil was an exceptional man, and he gave my kids little wooden horses, and he invited me over to his house. Just had the coolest little house, cool house, beautiful property right down the street from our church. We would just sit there and drink a Coke, and we would just talk. But when we moved from our rental house to our first home that we purchased,
we bought our house.
Gil
like
Brewer,
6 months after we got married,
who at the time was in his late 70s, maybe already in his 80s, brought his horse trailer by himself, and me and Mr. Gill loaded his horse trailer. We didn't have a whole lot of stuff, and drove it a few miles down the road and helped us unload it.
And then he installed our light in the dining room.
His Sunday school class took up an offering.
Bought us a chandelier,
and bought us a chandelier.
And he installed it.
And he installed it. And
like 76 years old.
Just like a champion. Absolutely did it. Gil Brewer. But it's weird because now...
He was one of our handymen. Like, I would call Mr. Gill in a minute. If something went down at the house, I would like, call Mr. Gill. He's the one to call.
He'd fix it.
Yeah.
Because at the time, it was one of those like, oh, good, Mr. Gill's here to help us move all of our furniture in a horse trailer. But now that's one of my favorite memories of ever moving. And because it's some things get sweeter over time, I think maybe we just learn to appreciate or even realize, man, how significant really some people are. All the way down to today, for lunch, we got to go to lunch with some of our favorite folks, the Bolson family. I mean, Ryan was this little kid in my youth group, and now he's married with his son. His son's name's Luke. His mom's Cheryl. It's weird, though, because we're in Madison now, eating at a Mexican restaurant, Dos Amigos, and with Ryan and his in-laws and all the family. And sometimes you just look around, and I would think that as you get older, like these stories just continue to accumulate. But I look around and think, my goodness, that's neat how this is like a multi-generational kind of thing.
Well, and it's just sometimes you get a glimpse of the story that God is writing around just our lives. I mean, we're just one family. But if I look back over the years of just being 36, it's such a beautiful story, and people are kind of interwoven at different times, and it's like they kind of circle back around, and suddenly they're back in your story for a little while. It's a very sweet thing, but then you realize, like, wait, I'm that person for somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's a very cool, you don't really appreciate that yet, but I see these kids at church, and I think, we are those people for them.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's an honor to be those people. And you don't think about it that way at all. But I look back to being a child growing up in church, and I had these just pillars of the faith, just living out the faithfulness of God in front of me every Sunday. And I don't think that they thought they were doing anything special either, but they were. And I think that I can remember individual people just really showing me how to be an adult, how to be a mom, how to be a pastor's wife, all those things.
That's right. And that's what in this verse it talks about, how do we, as we're living our daily lives, strip off all the things that are slowing us down and hindering us and holding us back spiritually to what God has for us. And it says we do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus. What I have found, I think we have found, is that in this life, there are people that the Lord allows around us all the time to remind us how to let those things go, how to release those things. But you're right, it's rarely, what I've experienced, the most influential people rarely ever said, we're going to live out Hebrews 12:2 here. We're going to make sure but it was living it out. Well, in their eyes, I believe, were so focused on Jesus that it was just who they were.
Part of who they were.
And they were influencing us, and now we're able to do that same thing. So it's that beautiful thing of, man, all of us, everybody is around different people every day that we are influencing. Somebody explained, maybe it was your dad. Somebody told me one time, like, everybody's influencing someone else. Whether you want to or not, you are having an influence on people around you.
Just what kind of influence are you having?
What kind of influence are you having? Which direction are you pointing them in? Who are you introducing them to? What type of legacy you're leaving?
Well, and that goes all the way down to the people who share your house with you. I mean, I feel like sharing a home with someone, they really see you on your worst days, your best days, when you're not feeling well, when you're really feeling good. The people who live with you, that's a day in and day out view. So like our kids are watching us live out our faith for better or for worse. And there are flaws that they're watching us have also. So it's just, what influence are we having on them, all the way out to the people who are just kind of on the outskirts of your life. You don't realize they're even watching you, but they are. And just to know that it is a story that God is using all of us to write. It's a really beautiful thing to think about.
It really is. And how do we do that? By keeping our eyes fixed. This is one of those same things where it seems like we always come back to. If you and I, if we commit to fixing our eyes on Jesus in our day-to-day, then I fully believe we will be a part of other people's clouds of witnesses. You know what I mean? Like we're going to. Like, you're going to be there if you believe in Christ. But to live in a way, for other people one day, to maybe even think, man, when they imagine who's in their cloud, I mean, it's pretty cool to think that we might be a part of that. But what's even cooler is, I think for those that are if you're truly trying to do this right, that's not the reason you're doing the things that you're doing. You're doing the things that you're doing because your eyes are fixed on Jesus. So for us, like, we'll be in a cloud of witnesses worshiping Christ in heaven, but we're a bigger part of what the Lord is doing. So I do. There have been different times where I think, this is my opinion, I don't have a verse for this, it's just some Danny thoughts here. I think that one day in heaven, it won't cause us to sin or anything, because I won't be there, but I do believe that in conversations with Jesus or the Holy Spirit or God the Father, maybe they'll be able to look back and say, let me try to, they won't have to try it, let me explain to you the bigger picture of what was going on in all those, like, the background of all the stories that we've been a part of. Because it's a beautiful picture, and I'm very thankful for it. So tonight, I'm thankful for the cloud of witnesses that we have. And I don't know, y'all, one last thing, if you have anything else, let me know. But to me, I was thinking, in my life, sometimes I've struggled with thinking, man, Lord, what's the big thing? I want to do something big for you. I want to do something huge. There's nothing wrong with that. I think God wants us to knock it out of the park, dream, shoot for the fences, aim, whatever. But again, some of the most influential people, some of the folks I'm most looking forward to seeing in that great cloud of witnesses, did basic, simple stuff.
Little
like
things,
Frances Ware would invite me over to swim in her swimming pool, and she had a Coke machine that didn't take any money. You just push the button and the Coke would fall out. It was insane. Absolutely loved it. And she would just let us play. And this lady named Shirley Burnett, she would let all the youth come over, and she'd pool at her house and just had food. Easy stuff. Now looking back, as a teen, you thought, this is pretty cool. They just open up their houses. I have no doubt in my mind that those same people were very intentional, and at some point made a serious decision, said, we're going to open our house up to some teenagers on a Sunday night who are probably going to make a mess, probably going to spill some drinks, but it was a bigger picture. Their eyes were focused on Jesus and the goal for it. And it left a huge impact on me. But they weren't, doing these, in the world standards of big, massive, it was just opening their house up for an hour on a Sunday night, eternal impact in my life.
But that is huge. Yeah,
absolutely
it is huge for you. And they had no way of knowing you were going to grow up and be a pastor of a church.
Right.
Or that any of those people in that room would grow up and have stable families. But they did. That's a big part of your development. I think that it's easy to downplay the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. But when you do things, and like you said this morning, seek first the kingdom, everything else falls into place. It doesn't have to be big things. It can be little things that you're doing. And little things keep everything going. I think of kids at school. Sometimes it's just the little mundane daily things that we do that set a routine for our students. That's sometimes all they need. And that's sometimes the best thing that you can do, and God will use it. God doesn't need us to do big things to be using it. He can use even the little things. So I think that if you just have that in your mind, fix your eyes on Jesus, seek the kingdom, He's going to use it for great things.
That's right. There's a kid, this is completely random, I'm an assistant coach on a flag football team. It's serious. I have an orange whistle that was made in the USA. There's a little boy on our team, and y'all, it is that whole herding cats thing. Truth.
These
There's
dads
so much truth
were
in
stressing out at this football practice the other
wow.
night.
So Billy's out there crushing it, it was like crying out lights. I was like, Billy, I can't. This is a lot. But there was this one little dude, and he kept saying, I want to tackle. I was like, it's flag
football.
Flag football, son. They're going to kick us out of the league if we do that. But about every 2 to 3 minutes, and this was an hour-long practice, he'd be running and pumped. He'd stop what he was doing, turn around, look at me, and said, hey. I was like, hey, bud. I said, can I have a hug? And he would put his hands up, and I was like, sure, kid. And I'd give him a little side hug, and I was like, thanks, bud. But just those moments of, and he seems like he has a fantastic family. They were cheering him on the sidelines. Everything's good. But knowing that in the smallest moments of life, Jesus can make the biggest impact in the lives of other people. When we are willing to give cups of cool water in Jesus' name. Jesus doesn't even say, go build a massive church somewhere or go write a book. You can. Those things are awesome. He says, just give a cup of cool water in my name. And we're serving him.
Well, and it's no mistake that he continually pairs those two things. Keep your focus on Jesus. Keep your focus on the kingdom. And that everything else falls into place.
That's right.
All of these cloud of witnesses. The cloud of witnesses will come if you just fix your eyes on Jesus. You will be a part of the cloud. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to do that.
We had the cloud first. But yet, in knowing that look at what it says here, like he says, we do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus. Like, will you stay focused on Christ? And it does say in that same passage, give a cup of cool water in my name. Right after that, Jesus says, in doing so, you will serve me. Mm-hmm. And I take it to mean not even knowing it. It's crazy when we're fixing our eyes on Jesus. He leads us to himself. And a lot of times that's in other people's lives that might not even know him yet, but will at some point.
And you may not know that you're serving him.
You may not know that you're serving him.
You may feel like you're just at a youth camp with sixth graders, telling them to go to bed. You may feel like you're cleaning out the backseat of a church van like we've done plenty of times. Mm-hmm. You're like, this cannot be making a difference in the kingdom. Mm-hmm. But I think that it does.
I think that it does.
It may not look like the most amazing thing, but God will use it.
That's right. So, a couple things to maybe do tonight if you're up for staying up a little bit. And hey, I don't know about y'all, but I'm off tomorrow, so we're going to watch something on Netflix. You know what I mean? But also got to get something to eat, so I haven't eaten until right now. I just realized I'm kind of hungry.
It's time for dinner, yeah.
But knowing that it is good to give thanks this evening, give thanks every day for the people that brought you the good news. Don't allow yourself. It's okay to be sad sometimes. There's nothing wrong with being sad sometimes. But I would encourage you to spend a little bit of time and dwell on who's in the cloud.
Just in the joy of it.
In the joy of that. Who is in my cloud? And naturally,
I feel like once you think of one, it rolls into. All day I've had these people in my mind all day. Just one setting, one church here, a church in college, all the different places I've been. It's neat to just sort of remember. It's
neat. That Mr. Rogers movie, we need to watch it again. It was fantastic. But apparently it's something he really did in real life. He was a Methodist minister too, but he would stop in mid-conversation and tell people, let's take 60 seconds and think about someone that loved us well. And he would just stop in the middle of a restaurant. And at first it's crazy because these grown men who are like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And by the end of it, they're tearing up but there's sweet. Something about that. Yeah. Pausing to remember. So think about who's in your great cloud of witnesses. And then, y'all, the big take home is ask the Lord, help me keep my eyes focused on you. Mm-hmm. My prayer is that we all want to be a part of other people's clouds. Like, we all want to be influential in that. Definitely. But the best way to do that is to keep your eyes focused on him. Because if we do that.
And I would even take it one step further. Share a story with your kids, with your neighbor. Mm-hmm. We were just visiting with Marshall and Michelle about talking about people that she said, it's funny you said that. I was thinking about this sweet lady. I love to hear stories like that about other people, because we all have those people in our life who just took a minute or some time to love us well, and talk about them. Share their stories. I think it's a sweet thing.
Share those stories. It is, and it keeps that going. One, if they knew the Lord, they're with him forever, but there is definitely something about keeping that legacy going, and I think it's good for us. I do. I think that it's good for us to do that too. So. Y'all, let's trust him together. Continue to serve him. Maybe we'll see you on here or in the building on Wednesday night at 6:45. Be praying for us this Tuesday at 11 a.m. We'll give an update sometime Tuesday. I think Justin, one of us is going to have a live stream when I come out. I don't want to get arrested. I can't go back to jail. I don't want to go back.
He's never been to jail, even though he was throwing rocks on the playground at that sweet little girl.
Y'all, it's time for us to wrap this thing up.
We need to track her down and apologize to her.
I don't even know that girl's name.
Oh, sure you don't. We're going to find her. Right,
my night just got more interesting. Some grown man's going to write some letter and mail it to some chick who's like 40 years old. Be like, well, who is this? Who is this?
My wife made me write this letter. She said I was not in trouble enough.
We're thankful
for you. Y'all have
a
good night.
We hope it's a great night. If you need anything, you need somebody to reach out to, let us know. Message us on here, comment, and know that we're praying for you. We'll commit praying for every one of you tonight before we go to sleep. And we're thankful for you in our community. Hang in there, and we will see you guys soon. Thanks for you. Bye-bye.
Bye.